So we are here on season 6 of Three Angry Giant Fans and a Jet Fan podcast, and that's probably the most boring opening you're going to see, but it is a philosophical difference between optimism and positivity. And I'll tell you what, right now, we are 4 optimistic motherfuckers. We're 0-0, and we are still alive for anything. Playoffs, Super Bowl, worst record in the NFL.
We don't have that little. We don't have that little lowercase e next to our team name yet. Which there should be an over. We should have our own over under when that appears. What week?
August 10th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am positive that we're gonna stink. How's that? That's positive.
I actually have optimism. You know I do. So we're going to talk about this in a little bit. But
there's no reason not to be at this point. I'm just excited to get back to it. I mean, let's do this. Finally, football is back. And I think the last time we were on, we were talking about, thank God it's over, but it's time. I'm ready for this to be back.
Yeah. Can you
that
believe
wears off?
It's season 6. Again, this is Scott, Giant Mike, Cardone, and Jets fan Novak. We got a lot of stuff going on in season 6. We got another live show to talk about coming up on September 2nd. Boys, this to me is the best time of the year because we're going into camp. Lots of reports about both of our teams looking good at camp. Rookies shining. I turn on the NFL Network and finally some Giants rookies are featured. Jackson Dart, Cam Scatabo. It's like, this is the time of year I could be happy because once the games start going and if the Giants start off 0-2 like they might against 2 divisional opponents, all of a sudden we're saying we're done by October again. So if I can't be happy now, when the fuck can I be?
Good point.
I think you have every reason to be.
Year.
Yep.
So we did have a record number of listeners last year. And we'll give a shout out to on our last podcast. So, hello, Denton, Texas. It's population 139,000. It's in the Dallas area, named after Texas militia captain John Denton. It was incorporated in 1866, and it really boomed after a railroad came into town in 1881. And 2 famous people from there, Meatloaf. Well, I guess he was from there. Well, actually, both these people were from there. Meatloaf and Phyllis George. I think Phyllis George is ironic because one of my favorite opening day things to watch used to be the NFL Today with Brent Musburger telling you're looking live at Fulton County Stadium.
Yeah,
absolutely. Irv Cross, right? The
Jimmy the Greek.
CBS must be. Yeah.
And Phyllis George.
Love that show.
I think every guy loved Phyllis George too.
Why wouldn't you back in the 70s? I mean,
yeah, Phyllis George, man.
Jane Kennedy, she was on that show too, I think. She was another one.
That's right. She was Jane Kennedy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was. Yep. That was.
And then, of course, it must be a town of good-looking people because Meatloaf, as well, is from
right.
there. Is a stunning individual.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
No.
Made dressing like a pirate a thing, and often carried a silk sweat rag with him on stage. I always admired that.
Tough couple of weeks, though. Losing Ozzy, losing Hulk Hogan. I mean, there's some losses in the last few weeks if you're a pop culture guy.
Don't forget Lonnie Anderson.
Lonnie Anderson, exactly.
Lonnie.
Ryan Sandberg.
Ryan Sandberg was the ultimate baseball guy. I was a Yankee fan. Well, I'm still a Yankee fan. And even that, I thought he was just the epitome of class when it came to baseball.
Yep. It was hard not to like him. And yeah, a couple tough ones over the last few weeks. It does make us feel a little bit old. There's no doubt about it.
A lot old.
Yeah, I know. That's a lot of people. Like they had that 1 week there where it was like Ozzy and the kid from Cosby Show and man,
Order.
Yeah, I probably watched all those people like in the same day at some point in the 80s, I'm sure. I will say, I hope this isn't too morbid. I know this isn't the most popular thing. I did win $100 in a Deadpool when Ozzy died. I had Ozzy. I had picked him out about a little less than a year ago. I had Ozzy in my sights. So
where does one go to enter a Deadpool?
Huh?
Where does one even go to enter a Deadpool?
Yeah, I can't. It's on the dark.
It's underground.
Way to kick the season off, Scott, and talking about a bunch of dead people. Where we go?
Yeah.
We can
Well,
nowhere to
here
go
we
but
go.
up from here.
It's fitting because our teams are usually dead by Halloween. So
That is true. That's a
this
fair
week,
point.
preseason games start. We got the Giants, Bills, and Jets, Packers. So we got that to look forward to. Camp has started. Reports have been pretty good from the Giants camp. Carter has turned heads. Russell Wilson's looked good from all reports. And, Jackson Dart looking decent. And the guy a lot of people are talking about, Cam Scatabo. I think we're going to be talking about him a lot this year, just because anything he does, he's going to be a fan favorite, I think.
So I'm looking for a new jersey to kick off the season, guys. And I'm telling you, Scatabo might be it might be the guy.
I might go with Carter.
Yeah.
I think I have to go defense.
Yeah. Or Carter. I was thinking of him too.
I'd be kicking around Lawrence too, so it's like, who do I go with?
I was
Not
gonna
easy.
go Dart, but I don't know. I have this feeling that 6 isn't going to be his long-term number. I don't know what it is. I just got this feeling that
Yeah, I can
6
see that,
isn't going to
Mike.
be. Yeah.
I was just going to ask, are the numbers set yet? Do we? Because usually that can change during training camp and preseason. We know that. Even after preseason games, we've seen guys switch jersey numbers right before week 1. That happens a lot. So
Yeah. Victor Cruz was 3 for all.
he was number
of, yeah.
He was number 3 all the
When he was beating the Jets.
Yeah. And
That's
Rex
a-
Ryan
Rex-
didn't even know who he was
Yeah.
during the game.
Yeah.
You hear
Rex
the sound
Ryan's like,
bites.
"Are we
He
gonna-
goes, that number 3.
We going to cover number 3 today or what? Anyone?
You guys got anything you're looking for in the first preseason game? I'm going to talk about this later when we go around the NFL, but for me, I just don't want any injuries. I don't want any injuries, and I don't really care if the starters play, but I will talk about that a little bit later, so let's hold that discussion. But anything you're looking for?
I don't know. I mean, maybe to take a page out of the WNBA with the this new trend, I'm looking to see if there's any dildos that are thrown onto the field during the course of the action. So
Good one. How many? What's the
as long as one of
over-under
our
on-
guys doesn't, turn an ankle on it while it's bouncing around out there. But
Yeah, I saw the funniest comment about that. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but what's her the other hot girl on the Fever said,
Sophie Cunningham.
will you guys please stop throwing dildos on the court or something? And this guy responded and said, you chicks stop playing basketball in the dildo range. I couldn't even get that one out without laughing. He said, you chicks need to stop playing basketball on the dildo range.
I didn't want to scoff at your question, Scott, but there's, I don't know, week 1, or preseason week 1. What do we look for? It's probably a repeat from last year, right? Or the year before. Just, you're looking for a couple guys to make a play here and there. You don't know who's even going to get the most, minutes and stuff. So rookies, I look at it like this is the most excited I was about our draft class in a number of years. So I'm definitely going to have my eye on a couple of rookies throughout the preseason. Don't know what's going to, when do we play? I think Saturday at 1 against Buffalo. Is that even televised? I don't think it is.
Every game is on the NFL Network. Just
Is it on
depends
NFL
when
Network?
it is.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I think that's the answer these days. Nobody, they hardly even give anyone a chance to get hurt. It's all about seeing the rookies, right? That's what it's all about. And I want to see a shit ton of Dart. That's what I want to see, because how many preseason snaps do Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson need? Mike, they've done this before. So yeah, I'd like to see pretty much, all Dart all the time. Let's get him out there and get him against other team starters, get him against backups. Let's see what we got.
Break him in quick. Yeah.
Yep.
Novak, thoughts on the Jets?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I hate kind of how the NFL has changed. Look, this is kind of like our ongoing theme, right? We hate how the NFL has changed. But you guys remember back in the day, the preseason, you had starters that played, and then week 1 and week 2 wasn't such a cluster. Like it wasn't like, is some team going to step up and play their players so that they can get off to a better start because they feel they've gotten the rhythm of the game and that kind of thing. Like, I actually wouldn't mind seeing that because I don't have to deal with the dick this year, which is great. So I want that fraud Justin Fields to get out there and show that he's terrible in the preseason so that I can bench him by week 4. So I don't know. Look, I'm kind of with you guys. I don't want injuries, but at the same time, I wouldn't mind seeing, we're a younger team. I wouldn't mind seeing a couple of these guys coming off of injuries like Jermaine Johnson and whatnot. They're not going to get in there, but it does make you, it begs the question, like, what's the point of the preseason? Yeah, we're going to see a few rookies, but they're playing against inferior opponents. What does it really mean? Like, I get it, game 1 and game 3, but can we at least have game 2 where they play a significant amount of playing time, which is what I would personally like, especially when I'm starting with a new quarterback who's terrible as it is. I wouldn't mind seeing him getting out there and actually throwing the ball instead of running to see what he might be able to do. But yeah.
You know, you make a good point. If Fields runs in preseason, you got to be like, why? What's the point? What's the point of that?
Yeah, exactly.
Just if you're his coach, you got to tell him, just find a way to throw the ball in every play.
Yeah.
Just throw the ball somewhere.
Like, do I care if he has 7 interceptions in a preseason game? I do not.
No.
Just throw it. Just let's get out there.
He was elite. Didn't I see him describe someone? Are we going to get to that?
Plenty of elite.
I did not. I forgot about that as a pet peeve. We've gone so long that pet peeves like have piled up like in the corner of my my garage, like I'm a hoarder. But yeah, I mean that whole talk about Justin Fields being elite. It's like if Justin Fields is elite, then there's 64 other quarterbacks in the NFL right now that are elite.
That kind of redefines elite. Yeah.
No, and look, the whole preseason so far, on all the jet boards, and everyone's talking about how electric he is, and meanwhile in the drills he went like 4 for 26 or something, and with 4 interceptions and 3 sacks. Like, come on, I can't wait till he fails, and then I can say we all said he was going to be a disaster, and we were correct because he's going to.
I think it was Hisman. Doesn't matter when it was. Last year, the year before, might have even been when Fields was all the way back on Chicago. And we usually have our text thread going in the middle of games and stuff around the league. Like, holy shit, did you see what just happened in this game, whatever? And Mike throws out there like, there it is. The announcer, Fields just took off for a 21-yard gain, and there he goes.
Meanwhile, he was going 9 of 28 for like 64 yards.
There he goes.
Yeah. Yeah, it was 42-10. The Bears were getting beat. Took off for like a 12-yard scramble.
Right.
Hit his own end. There he goes.
It is a good debate, and I am going to bring this up when we talk about the Panthers. But whether or not to play starters, if you look at what the NFL coaches say, they don't believe in preseason. They think that the real work is done in the joint practices and in the actual inter squad practices. So they treat preseason like a joke. But to Novak's point, we've gotten off to terrible football in the first few weeks of the year. And the Giants haven't really played their starters, and I think Dable will a little bit more this year. And I think he'll do it strictly because the Giants have gotten off to such bad starts that he has to just switch it up. And I understand that point of view. It doesn't really make sense that he has to do it, but I think he does it because if he doesn't and the Giants get off to a bad start, people are like, well, you didn't change anything up and they still suck. What's going on?
Yeah, it's a good point, Scott, because personally, I don't think what we do in the preseason has anything to do with the way we start. I think the schedule has more to do with the way we start these seasons. And we've beat that to death over the past few years. But, you wonder what changed because when we were kids, you guys remember, and even into our teens and 20s, it was the first game the starters played a quarter, the second game they played till halftime, the third game they played into the third quarter, and then they usually sat out most of the fourth game, right? That was the 4-game preseason. Yep. Yeah. And it was every team who did that every season, year after year after year. It was that's just the way it was, and there was no changing it. And then, I want to say this was even when Parcells was still coaching, like the Cowboys or the Jets or somebody, and I heard him talk about preseason, and he said preseason's procedural. You know what I mean? Yeah. That we're trying to make sure that we're snappy about like getting the punt team out there, and and making substitutions. And, that's what the preseason is for. And then now, to Cost point, it's just a joke. Like they wish they didn't even have to do it for any reason. So it's just gradually changed over the years, but it's always been dull through all of that.
Well, they've already eliminated one of the games, right? So we're down to 3. How long before we're down to 2 with the 18-week regular season? That's coming soon.
Yeah.
It's coming soon.
It's coming soon. We know that. So there's going to be 2 preseason games, which they already are next to nothing, and now eliminate another one of them, and it's just going to be even more of a joke. And for of all the professional sports, I think we all agree, NFL football at this level requires at least some kind of real game action before the season starts. Maybe baseball, of course, pitchers, catchers, all that kind of stuff. But basketball, these guys could just go out and play a fucking pickup game, and it could be mid-season. But
totally.
NFL, with the way the rosters change over as much as they do as well, man, it's just, I think we're kind of stuck with it. We all, like, preseason, even as fans, we talk about it on our pod every year. It's just like, oh God, just let's get through this bullshit. But it's necessary. It is.
How great would it be, right? If your coach, my coach, your coach, or whatever, just stood up and said, you know what, we're playing our guys because we want to get off to a fast start. We want to be prepared. We want to be ready for week 1. And I want to make sure that they have experience in-game action playing with one another. We would be like, yes, bring it on, right? And who's going to question that?
The only thing is, I wonder how true that is. I mean, if you look at like the Super Bowl winners and things like that, like the Eagles didn't play their starters last year. Barkley barely played in the preseason. The Chiefs rarely play their starters. There are a few teams that do. I thought about this earlier this week because I was watching the local news interview Dave Canales, who is the coach of the Panthers, who many people don't even realize that. But they were talking to him, and he said, "Well, you know what? We've gotten off to slow start, so we're gonna play our starters in the preseason." Yeah. Just like I mentioned with the Giants, I guess you have to say that. I mean, they benched Bryce Young after 2 games last year, and now Bryce Young's being called elite. By the way, it's not going to be a pet peeve. I'm just going to bring this up. Bryce Young is called elite for his finish of the year last year. The last 7 games, the Panthers went 2-5. How great was he?
Couldn't have been that great.
They're looking for anything.
So but to Novak's point, I think people are going to sit there and say, we're going to play the starters, and then there's going to be this mismatch of starters versus second teamers, which happens every year. Fans overrate their team because their starters ate up the second string, and they're like, oh yeah, we won that game 30-13 or whatever. But in reality, you don't know what you got because your firsts never played against their number ones.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that Canales came out and said that, because let's be honest, if the Panthers go out and win week 1 and week 2, guess who's playing their starters next preseason? Everybody, because this league has no creativity or originality.
No.
Yeah.
Well, the Panthers did it. We should do it. They won their first 2 games.
The best headline I saw today was Shedeur Sanders will start Friday. I don't think that's a good thing. They made it sound like a good thing. That means you're the 3rd or 4th string quarterback if you're starting a preseason game in week 1.
Exactly.
I'm excited about it. Novak, before you guys got on, I was like, is that on tonight? I got to put it on. It's like, no, dude, you got to wait.
Yeah, I'm excited. See this guy blow up.
You guys remember the preseason when Spurrier was the coach of the Redskins, and they were like beating people 70-0 in preseason, and the Redskin fan base just went outside of their mind with excitement, and then they got beat like 70-0 in the opening week, and it kept going. It was awesome. It was one of the great preseasons.
Isn't there like a team that has like some weird preseason winning streak record? It was like the Ravens.
Yeah, Ravens.
Oh, the Ravens.
Yeah, the Ravens.
Yeah.
I think it was broken last year, wasn't it? Or
was it when Poe went down? Was that like the thing?
Poe was the catalyst.
No, I think in the 3rd game last year they finally lost, but they had something like an impressive 22-game winning streak or something like that. It was like
crazy. You can only do that if you're trying to do it. There's no no way. That's like bringing your starters out for the last drive in a preseason game. Which, by the way, I never understood. Like when I was a kid and watching the preseason, I'm like, they have a chance to win this game. Like, bring Sims in right now. My dad's like,
Jerry
it doesn't work
Goldstein's
that way.
taking snaps.
Goldstein.
Get Goldstein out of there. Bring Sims in. Let's win this thing.
Did you guys see anything from around the NFL you wanted to talk about in camp? I know we got the whole. We do have a question about this, so I don't want to do too deep into it. But we have the whole. People are asking to be traded. Scary Terry McLaurin's asking to be traded. We got certain guy on Dallas that wants to be traded. I mean, there's guys around the league starting to throw their muscle around.
It's unseemly. I don't like it. I happen to enjoy the two players that are mouthing off the most right now because they're on Dallas and Washington. But overall, I don't think it's very good for the league.
It's not.
No. Although I saw, I like Cardone. I can't stand Orlovsky, but he had a really good take on McLaurin, which I agree with. The Commanders, Redskins, whoever, they've been dog crap for how many years? 15 years? They're finally good for 1 year, and now they're playing. We're the big guy, and we're not going to sign the one guy that was any worth a damn for the last 7 years. Come on, who are you? Stop it! You need to sign this guy, and you need to pay up and pay your players, especially the ones that stuck around in the dark times when you guys were the laughing stock of the league, even below the Jets.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel that way about McLaurin in particular.
Go ahead, Mike.
I was just going to say if something happens and he's not there this year, whatever, karma will bite them big.
100%.
You just don't do that. Just don't do that.
Hope it bites in week 1.
I was going to say. I was just going to say that, Scott. Well, I hope it rears its head in week 1.
What's Micah's issue though?
I didn't even read into it. Did you guys read it? I don't know. Is it?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
From what I understand, he's just, it's a money thing. He's just like, are you kidding me? You got to pay me. No one disrupts the game like I do this and that, which he's 100% right about all that stuff. But man, and I had heard, someone told me they were very excited. Like, oh, Micah wants to be traded from Dallas. And I'm like, you don't understand how this works. Blah, blah, blah. I want to be traded. They'll sign him next week. And then I start seeing all this stuff where he is like seriously mouthing off. Like, he really wants to go. Like, he's saying, I don't want to be here. We all know this team's going nowhere. Like, just things that would be hard if he did get signed to go back in front of his teammates after saying. So I don't know what the whole deal is there. I'm like Cardone, I've not looked into it too much, but I've read some of these reports coming out of there, and it seems pretty ugly.
I find it insufferable, guys, quite honestly. I mean, I was as tempted as I was to either catch a glimpse of it on, Sports Center or something, or read up on it. I'm like, you know what? I care, but I don't.
Tell me where he is week 1.
Yeah,
right.
I had an Eagle fan of mine, a buddy of mine, reach. He's coming to the Eagles card on. I'm like, you know what? Enough of your team too. Okay, just enough.
What I always appreciated back in the day was when a guy like Lawrence Taylor or even Reggie White did this too. They just wouldn't play in preseason. They'd say, I'm unhappy about the contract. And they wouldn't actually make any demands. They just would sit out the preseason and then come back into camp at the very end and go, all right, we're going to play.
I'm
Strahan classically did that, I think, in his last and final year. Ended up winning a Super Bowl that year. I think was that the year he held out and just.
I believe it was.
Yeah. And then when it came down to crunch time, he's like, "Yeah, I just didn't want to go to training camp."
Yeah, that was just the training camp pass, I don't know. You don't see that anymore these days. Usually, when a guy puts a trade request in, he's sort of serious about that. So
yeah, this was pretty serious. It seems like I didn't see anything about McLaurin, so I don't know. But Micah's like trashing the Cowboys like. Pretty hard.
The Cowboys are the Cowboys, guys, because they're just it's who they are in terms of headlines, national headlines. But I have to say, I mean, now the preseason hasn't even officially started, right? It kicks in this weekend, but it seems like the Cowboys, and maybe I'm just not reading as much as at this point in the preseason. It seems like things have just been kind of quiet over there in Big D, though. There's usually something going on all the time. So all right, yeah, Parsons saying he wants the trade request, but. Usually there's a little bit more going on with Dallas, and things just seem to be kind of quiet. But it'll all change after another week of once we get into the preseason, things will start to stir up.
And in
Business
business
after 29 years of failing, do you think there's some humble that's shown up? I don't know. I don't know if it's possible, but yeah, maybe they just realize, holy shit, we are not good.
This is the 30-year anniversary of their last Super Bowl. That's awesome.
So our Cowboy listeners will like this. So I'm in a poker group, and last week I had like 6-7 offsuit, and I cracked kings. And the guy that I cracked kings with was very upset. He's like, fucking, how did you beat Cowboys? I said, fucking, the Cowboys haven't won shit since 1994.
How did you beat my Cowboys?
So business as usual in the NFL. Shit's going down in what used to be LA is now Las Vegas. They released Christian Wilkins, and when you look deeper into the situation, apparently it's because he kissed a teammate or something.
God, how far have we fallen?
There was something really strange going on there. I think they wanted to get rid of him anyway because of his contract, but in that case, he's good friends with Dexter Lawrence. Bring him to the Giants. We could use another defensive.
Yeah.
A kissy face defensive lineman. Sure.
I have no idea what went on there, but of course it happened with the Raiders. You're talking about a guy who was a premier defensive lineman, basically in the last 5 years.
I mean, I saw the article on that, like online. It was like Raiders defenseman kisses teammate or something and is let go. And I'm like, where, how far have we fallen? I mean, what?
All the way.
Like, what are we doing? This is how far we've fallen. We got a guy getting cut because he's kissing another guy. Like, what? Ugh. Just this NFL, man. It doesn't take long to start pissing me off again. It really doesn't.
Yeah. About
right?
3 minutes into any broadcast, anything dealing with the NFL, like 3 minutes into it, I'm like, fuck this stupid shit.
What's ironic about this is I have two pet peeves, and neither of them about football necessarily. But if we don't have anything more about around the NFL, I'll let Novak start with pet peeves.
Wow, you're going right to it. I mean, Scott is firing.
We got a ton of questions.
This is like our preseason. Like we're still getting our sea legs under us. Like we don't know what's going. We're talking over one another. We don't know what's happening. Scott's firing through the schedule. Wrong teams. So anyone listening, we'll get there. Don't worry about it. But no. So my pet peeve is sort of similar to my ongoing theme, which is, growing up, I just loved the continuity of nothing changed and everything was the same, and you expected the season to start the same way with the same broadcast and the same networks and the same teams and everything else. And the NFL has just done a tremendous job over the last 30 years of just effing up everything that was ever good about the sport. Like they just know how to just like kick it to the ground and just bury it. And they've done it yet again. Like finally, I was like, there's a network that true NFL fans can watch and just get into like really hardcore information about the NFL in the NFL network. And then of course I love the red zone. I don't love it. I'm not a huge red zone fan, but I like it. If the Jets aren't on, I will flip on the red zone so I can watch games because a lot of the games are really boring, but the red zone keeps it really interesting. Hansen is great. Now that's going to ESPN. And because you guys know exactly what's going to happen with this. There's going to be commercials on this damn thing. They're going to put the Kelsey brothers on there. They're going to have they're going to have women sideline reporters, and they're going to turn it into a Pat McAfee thing. They're just going to kill yet again something that was great, and they're just going to take it to everything else the NFL does is just ruin something that was great. And my pet peeve when I saw that, I was like, here we go. ESPN's going to kill this damn thing, which I love the NFL network. It's not going to be the same. It's going to be Mike Greenberg hosting crap, and even though he's a Jet fan, I don't know about you guys. I was just very disappointed that yet again something's been taken from us and turned into streaming bullshit and everything else. I'm just tired of it.
I was mad last year when, there used to be two red zones, and Hansen won out over Andrew Siciliano, who I'd like to see a red zone guy for me. Like
he was the man. Siciliano was The
He
guy
was great too. Absolutely.
He was awesome. Guy was
all
awesome.
good. Yeah. Siciliano's like, oh, accidentally showed you a field goal there. I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
That's the one thing about the red zone for DirecTV and the red zone otherwise, is that the red zone for DirecTV would stay with plays for a while. I have ADD probably from the way we are this generation, but the way Hansen does it, it's like every play, it's like the snap's done, and then all of a sudden you're back on the next
Let's
play.
go.
Like I like staying
Yeah.
with
Boom, boom.
Siciliano a little bit more. You know, it was like,
Yeah. And now I'm sure you guys saw that now the NFL now owns 10% of ESPN. Did you guys see that? The NFL is a 10%. I mean, what could go wrong, right? I mean,
No.
it's fine. Don't pay no attention to that. It's fine. Because they've already guaranteed us that it won't affect the coverage at all. Which no, why would it? No, you can't. It's fine. It's fine. Just look away. It's fine. You know, because well, let's be honest. I was going to say we would get some honest reporting. Maybe, we would love to be a little bit more of critical of officials, look at them more. That's not going to happen now. There's no way that happens. What's ESPN going to do now? Everything is tainted to Novak's point. It's just they own everything. They have us by the short hairs. They know it. They ruin it right in front of us and laugh at us. That's
wait till the NFL owns 10% of DraftKings.
Yeah, I'm through ESPN. They probably do.
Well, they also took NBA on TNT, ESPN. Like, just give them all the sports. Just give them all of it. Like,
I know. Where's it going to stop? Just take everything. It's like Newman and Risk when he had. I'm sorry. It was like Kramer when he had Newman cornered. All he had left was Ukraine. That's all. That's it. Just take it.
Just take it all.
Kamchatka. Yeah, yeah, we're having everything force fed down our throat. And as I've talked about, what's that lead to? Well, we all have to go to ESPN. It's the only consistent place where they get, good stories and good news. So we have to go to ESPN and get gaslit that people care about the WNBA, that people care, first thing up on the feed is, today it was someone throwing a dildo on the court, but, it's, the scores come rolling up and the first thing is WNBA. What other business can actively show you and give you shit that they know you don't want because you can't go anywhere else?
I got to go back to the dildo. I got to go.
I have to bite before you go to the dildos. I had to love all the memes this summer talking about the WNBA people that are complaining about their salaries and being paid what they really should be earning. And someone said, well, do you really want to take on the debt that your league really should be with? Yeah, right. The NBA is like funding you for the last 20 years.
Your league is $700 million in debt. Pay me what I'm worth. You're worth negative $750 million.
Take out your checkbook. You got to rewrite. You got to cut some checks. No, but going back to this dildo paraphernalia and this, I saw one. I don't know. I don't even know the platform, but I saw one video of it. Right, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" You stumble across this thing, and I love that they had the little blurred out circle thing like over it.
Show it.
I'm like, you're blurring out a piece of plastic or rubber, whatever the hell the thing was. Like, what? You can't show a dildo hitting the court? Like, it's the little blur, that little blur thing. However the hell, I don't know. I still don't know how that technology works. I'm thinking like, when Elaine, the mannequin, when they had her in the clothing store there, like, she was completely topless. They didn't blur that out. We were looking at a fucking mannequin. What's the difference? We're looking at a little piece of a plastic sex toy hits a court, and we're fucking blurring it out.
No, you can't let a child see that. Oh my God.
Didn't they throw them out there at a Bills game at one point?
Yes. Yes.
Right.
That's
I don't think it was blurred out there. It's because it was guys on the field.
Right. And how did most of the players even know what it was?
I get it. I see what you did there. They probably said the same thing. There's a piece of plastic on the floor.
How do you even recognize what it was?
Uh, how about that, Mike? Pet peeve?
I got to follow this. So
Oh.
my pet peeve has nothing to do with football or sports at all. It's
Dildos?
it's about dildos. It's a commentary on where we've kind of come as a society. So I am really, really tired of, I'm not a phone guy. I don't generally carry my phone around with me. I've just started having it with me when I work because, two-factor authentication and all that nonsense that you have to do. So it's around me, but I turn it off. I'm busy. I get too much going on. When I come in the house, I throw it down on a table or something and go. And I feel like I'm being judged. Like people are like, well, I called you, and then the worst is, oh, I saw that you read my message. How come you didn't respond? I'm like, man, I got things going on. I got things to do. So I had all this come to a head this week with a good friend of mine, and I hope he's listening because we've kissed and made up since. But yeah, I don't care for the friends who I call them trappers. So they're the ones who are like, hey, what are you doing next Saturday? And you're like, oh, no. I need much more information before because when I was younger and not quite as savvy with this kind of stuff, it would be, hey, what are you doing next Saturday? I'd be like, nothing. Why? What's going on? And then you're locked into going to a kid's soccer game or something, whatever. So yeah, it's more advice, I guess. Just don't be a trapper. Like, don't trap your friends. Give them some intel about what's going on. Don't trap them. And for those of you out there who get trapped a lot, just be wary. It takes some discipline, but you just got to be ready. You always got to be ready with, I might have plans or whatever. Don't let yourself get trapped. It's very annoying.
It's a good one.
I'll tell you this. I feel old school, Mike, because like when I go up to bed at night, I leave my work phone and my personal phone downstairs. I charge them, and I go up to bed. And people are always like, I tried to reach you. I'm like, well, I was in bed. It's like, well, you don't have the phone by your bed? I'm like, well, no, I don't. And if I did, it would probably be silent. It's like
there's an expectation by everybody that because the phone is pocket sized, that it has to be in your fucking pocket. It's not. It doesn't. Some people don't walk around, some people don't walk around staring at the damn thing all day or waiting for it to ring. And so, I just want everyone to know there's absolutely nothing personal. My family hates me because I don't pick up the phone when they call or don't call them right back. It's not because I don't like you or I'm screening or anything, unless you're a trapper. I might be screening a trapper out, but yeah, just have some respect for people. Just because they make the phone doesn't mean that everybody has to constantly be using it. Yeah, that's.
So I guess, Mike, you don't want to hang out with me next Saturday?
Why? What's going on?
No, I'm just kidding.
What's going on? You're going to get trapped if you ask.
To anyone listening, that was not me that texted Mike. I was just testing him.
No.
Yeah, next thing you know, you end up renting a U-Haul and moving a guy across town.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you doing next weekend? No, I got no plans. Why? What's going on? I'm moving, or I need a ride to the airport, or like what the? No.
Recyclables you want to take to Michigan?
Yeah. So now I'm just really careful, and I think sometimes people are like, well, I could tell he was lying, and I'm like, well, you tried to trap me, and I had to get my way out, man. My go-to now is, I don't know. I haven't looked that far ahead, but I don't know why. What's going on? So,
I have two pet peeves this week, and one of them is it's football related in the sense that it came from another Giants podcast, and it's a pet peeve of mine. This is not, by the way, this is not racial at all, because this really is something that happens with people from New York City or Long Island too. It's when people use the word ask and they say ax. And there's a podcast that is a Giants podcast, and the guy is always saying, "Oh, Jerry, he asked me a question and I said this." And I thought to myself, he actually got got called to the carpet to it, and he said, no, that's the way we talk. That's the way that letter combination goes together. But it isn't. Because if you say the word mask, you don't say, hey, that guy's got a max on. You never heard that. They say mask. You don't say if I have a task to do, you don't go, I got tax to do. No, it's a tax you pay. The same with like if you drink out of a flask, it's not a flax. It's a flask.
Hand me that flex.
And if you're in the sun, you're basking in the sun. You're not baxing in the sun. So when you tell me that word combination comes together, it's bullshit because it doesn't. It's just axe for some reason. And I don't get it. I don't understand it. And I don't understand why Long Island people talk that way versus other people.
So you're saying the backup quarterback for the Buccaneers is not Kyle Trax?
So
Yeah, that's always bugged me because there's never been a justification of why ASK in that particular word is axe, but everything else that has an ASK in it is not. Those kind of things drive me crazy.
you're getting into Larry David kind of stuff here.
No,
I
it's
like
just
it.
it's from a language thing. That's it.
I mean, grammar is under assault in this country. There's no doubt about that.
No
Under
doubt.
assault.
So my second pet peeve is this bullshit that's going on with baseball. So baseball is just now they're just fishing for fans and they're using any gimmicks possible. I texted you guys the other day. They played a fucking baseball game at Bristol Motor Speedway. Yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, what the hell does baseball have to do with NASCAR? What does it have to do with putting a field on a NASCAR track? It's getting out of control. You know, we already have ghost runners on base in the 10th inning. It's like, what the fuck is happening with baseball? Are they that hard up for people that they're doing this?
They took the one thing that was actually cool with the Field of Dreams game, which I actually did like that. And they're just trying to be creative and do different things. Just put one on Mars. I guess let's just get to it already.
Oh my God, he hit a ball 4,020 feet.
I mean, all these other sports changing things, you know, we've all laid out there how we feel about that. But baseball, come on, man.
Yeah, I know.
Leave baseball alone.
Exactly.
I mean, there's no need to change it. There's no, obviously they played the game at Bristol to set an attendance record. That's a false record. It's, you know, okay, big deal. You know, what did they do? They played another sport at Tennessee Stadium one time so they could set an attendance record.
It's women's volleyball.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not I mean, you know, it's not I guess I get it. If the stadium's never changed and you've had a sellout, you're never going to set an attendance record. But who cares? Nobody cares. No. You know what? Oh, there's a giant buzz about that game, wasn't there? The baseball game in Bristol. No, I didn't even know. I flip it around my TV. I said, "What the fuck are they playing baseball at a NASCAR track for?" I didn't. No.
Didn't they play basketball on like a ship or something at one point?
Yes. Aircraft carrier or something.
Yes,
right?
Wasn't it right? Wasn't there something like that?
North Carolina against Kentucky or something like that. It was I know North Carolina played.
It was college hoops. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, you know,
so what happens if the ball, you know, like the ball like rolls off the ship? It's like that scene in Clerks when they're playing hockey on top of the roof. You only got give me another ball. You only got one ball.
You know, but baseball's been doing this lately. I mean, you know, they've changed the extra inning rules when COVID hit. But even look at the All-Star game. The All-Star game this year was decided by a swing off. I've never heard of a swing off before. But they did a home run derby type ending to a game that was tied.
And honestly, you guys are Yankee fans. Aaron Boone even fucked that up because the three guys he put up there to do the swing off were like three guys I've never even heard of.
I know. They were like the same three people that were in Cliff Clavin's fucking kitchen. Yeah. Or that were never in his kitchen. Oh my God! So that was hilarious, guys, because the four of us were going wild on our thread where I didn't even know this swing off existed. This is how little I watch this shit anymore. I used to love watching the home run derby and the All-Star game.
Yep.
And when I heard about this swing off, I didn't even know this thing. I guess they put it in like 3 years ago. I didn't know it was something. I think they haven't had to use it, right? But I think it's been there since 2022. I had no idea. That's how little I watched this shit. And when I heard about this swing off, because I didn't even stay up to watch it, or I was watching something else, and then when I found out about it, I said, "You got to be kidding me!" They had and the four of us were going around like, "Why don't we just, Scott? I think you said like, let's just have a slam dunk contest in a basketball game."
Actually, the one thing I did say that you guys were on board with is I said, why not just do away with the All-Star game? Have the All-Stars play the Savannah Bananas. Now, would that be entertaining?
There you go.
That has legs. That has legs. I'm telling you, that has legs.
Make the major leaguers out there dance, play against a guy on stilts, let's make it fun.
A marketing genius. You should get in touch with someone at MLB about that.
I actually think the Savannah Bananas are popular because their games are 2 hours no matter what, and they sit there and they just have fun.
But is it like if you watch like the Ghost Runners and everything? So if you're a dedicated enough fan to watch a game into extra innings, are you then saying, "Fuck, I wish this thing would get over right away"? No, nobody's saying that. Nobody is. We're in the 10th inning. Let's completely change the rules now. That's not a thing. Like nobody is. They're fixing something that had no reason to be fixed.
They stuck it in there during COVID for some reason. I don't even know what COVID had to do with it. Like, did we have to play faster because of COVID? There weren't fans in the stands.
Yeah,
I've never wanted sporting events to end faster in my life.
Never. Nope.
So I could hear the 60-minute clock ticking on fucking Sunday night? That was death. I did anything to keep a Sunday to hang on to. You hope a game went into they only have overtime in NFL, but you never. That was right. That was remember that Sunday night we talked about it on the pod many times. I never want shit to end.
They would switch to another game and you're like, yes, they're in overtime.
Murder, she wrote.
Oh
yeah,
those games with the Red Sox that used to go on for 4.5, 5 hours. I loved it. Up until 1:30 in the morning, I didn't care. Loved it.
Once again, as we've talked about before, they're trying to please and draw in the casual fan at the expense of us.
In every sport, every single one.
In every sport. Yep.
They're already touting the fact that this will be the year that we have the first NFL game in Berlin. Again, how many international games are we going to have before we say enough? I mean, we're going to have a team overseas at some point. We know that. Yeah. They'll probably be based in London.
No, just honestly, just put the Jaguars as a nomad team and let them play all around the world for their 16 games. Seriously. Have them be like the world Jaguars and let them play everywhere.
The Jacksonville Globetrotters.
Yeah.
and like the mayor, all the people like that work for Duval County, like you have the rights to still say Duval wherever you're playing. You can still say it.
They do it anyway.
Like you know what I mean? Like we'll copyright or however they're going to transfer those rights to say you can still say Duval in fucking Berlin. We'll allow it.
Yep. Go play in the North Pole. I mean, just do whatever. Like just get over it already.
Leave the rest of us alone.
Duval. I still love the new Jacksonville coach when he was introduced, like his Duval. That was the worst of all time.
Duval?
No, he goes, Duval.
Like it was a question mark. Am I allowed to say it? Duval?
I got to say it creepy like this? Duval? Oh.
All right. Cardone, pet peeve?
Yeah, I'll try. I'm going to get through mine quick here. Like I just added one as we're talking because something in baseball that we're talking about just came up, and I'll get to that one. I'll leave that one for the end. I started with just one, and it was quick. Preseason, you know where I'm going to go, guys. I might as well start the season with complaining about the media and how they just egregiously do everything wrong, right? So again, Hall of Fame game. The epitome of nobody's playing in this game. It's a commercial thing, all that. By the way, I forgot that game was even on that night. I was watching something else. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, Chargers and Lions are playing on a Thursday night Hall of Fame game. So I happened to flip over to it and couldn't get through more than about 3 minutes of listening to fucking Collinsworth and Tirico glaze over Trey Lance, right? Trey Lance. Holy shit. So I don't even know how long this guy's been in the league, this and that. They couldn't say enough. Like, it was absolutely relentless what they were talking about with Trey Lance. So then what really got me is when I saw the headlines the next morning, I saw 2 headlines where Trey Lance shows us his stuff. And I think I saw electrifying. Trey Lance was electrifying. The guy he had a 6 yards per attempt by the end of the game. He was playing nobody. And then another headline, the Los Angeles Chargers rout the Lions 34-7. When have you ever heard of a preseason game described as routing someone? Who are they routing? Guys that aren't going to be in the league in 2 weeks? We've already beat this to death earlier tonight. But instead of just calmly saying, and the Chargers won a meaningless Hall of Fame game 34-7. Chargers rout the Lions.
By the way, could Trey Lance have gone to a worse situation there? He's playing behind Justin Herbert. He's only going to get in if Herbert's injured, severely injured.
Exactly. But that's not what Collinsworth would have you believe, or the AP, the Associated Press, the next day when they were recapping the game, talking about Trey Lance as if this guy was drafted number 1 this year, and he's the savior of the Charger franchise. It's incredible, guys. I mean, I'm going to be talking about it all year.
Trey Lance is on his 3rd team already, and the guy was the 3rd overall pick.
Is he the backup?
I was going to say.
I don't even know where he is on the depth chart because some other guy, DJ Ukulele. Some guy, DJ Ukulele, also
used to
came
be
in.
Clemson quarterback.
Ukulele is in the NFL?
Yeah, he's on the Chargers. They signed him.
Good God. We are just
DJ Ukulele.
desperate.
Yeah. He got into the game. So, again, a game that Ukulele is playing in, that's... I mean, that's the barometer, right? But the Chargers routed the Detroit Lions.
They routed them.
They routed a couple guys wearing Lions jerseys that won't be on the team in 2 weeks. Knock it off.
No. To this day, the biggest story of Trey Lance's career is how many draft picks he actually cost teams to get him, which were meaningless. And Dallas traded draft picks after he's a number 3 overall pick. He gets traded to Dallas. Dallas gave up a pretty high pick for him, didn't they? I don't remember what that was. But I
don't remember the number, but
maybe it was a 3rd. I think it was a
3rd.
It was something, yeah.
So this guy might not play a legitimate down in the NFL at all, ever.
By the way, if you remember last year in one of the preseason games, Trey Lance set the record for both touchdowns and interceptions in a preseason game. I think it was. I think he had 4 interceptions and 4 or 5 touchdowns or something like that. They didn't mention the interceptions till later when everyone was like, "Well, wait a minute, this is like a career high of anyone having interceptions."
That's
unreal.
That's classic ESPN right there.
Classic.
Trey Lance fires 4 touchdowns, and in the last paragraph, well, he coupled that with 6 interceptions. That's classic ESPN.
I love the adjective rout the Lions. I never heard in a preseason game a team routing anything.
Line up the Chargers and Lions at about a month and a half from now, and let's see what happens.
Oh man!
And let Trey Lance play in that game too.
Yeah, let Lance run around for 4 quarters.
I bet you Dan Campbell was actually smiling too, which he knew he wouldn't be if they were actually being routed.
Yeah.
Well, somehow Campbell's nose looked like it was mid-season. He still had the red nose somehow, in last
August?
day of July. He still has his nose looked like it was mid-December somehow, and he's out in a 19-degree wind chill. That guy's just. So I have a little honorable mention pet peeve that came out of that game. I think it was the next day. Also, I was watching something and saw some highlights, and I guess I saw the first virtual first down fucking graphic come out. Have you guys seen this yet? Have you seen this? Where they're trying out. This. Okay, they're trying out. They're doing just like in tennis or in where it's a virtual fucking line now. We were upset when they got rid of the chain gang, right? I mean, the old fashioned chain gang. They just don't measure anymore. Well, now they're fucking they're implementing and testing out a virtual first down.
Is this where they put the fake tennis ball in or out? Like that
exactly.
kind of.
Yes. I saw something on. Yeah.
We made fun of that on one of these pods at one point.
Yeah.
Where we think I think Cardone, you might have said we're going to get to the point where it's going to be like tennis when they do that ball like coming in a little shadow and then everyone cheers because it's in or out.
Exactly. Gone are the days where a human being in McEnroe would lose his skull arguing about after chalk flew up and shit. Now they have so I don't even know what I was watching, guys. Like I said, I can't even get into this pet peeve because I saw it like less than a minute of this. I wasn't even sure what I was looking at. And I was thinking, did they do this in the game or are they testing this out for the preseason? I didn't even hear, I didn't stick around long enough on the segment to hear what the hell. I caught the very end of it. All I know is that there's, I guess it was ESPN, was showing something about the virtual first down line, that this is something they're going to be testing out, I guess, in the preseason.
It won't even be long until they can use that to override an official, which might not be a terrible thing. It honestly might not be a terrible thing.
But at the same time, then the NFL can make this BS virtual thing and say, well, the virtual thing says it's a first down for the Chiefs, so we got to believe it. I mean, but my other thing is too, like, if this is going to be a thing, how do they know this when there's 10 guys in a scrum and a ball is on a fake line going across the field? How do you know that it's ahead of a line?
They don't.
Unless there's a laser on the ball, like a tracker, until
you put chip technology.
I was gonna say, put a fucking microchip in the ball and let's be done with it. And let's just be done with it.
Right? I mean, come on.
I don't know. I saw that one, and then as we're talking about baseball, I had to add another one, guys. So a couple weeks ago, Cole and I drove down to Atlanta to catch the Yankees in town, which was that was the last.
A good game.
That's the last I'll be excited about the Yankees the rest of the season because I can't even talk about that ridiculous team going on right now. But we saw a wild game.
You're gonna have a question about that in a little bit.
Is that right? Okay. We saw a wild game on Saturday night. That was fun. But before that, though, this experience of trying to download fucking tickets online, that wasn't even really my pet peeve. Really, I'll just go right to the pet peeve. Usually I get parking. We Ubered. We went to 2 games. The first game we Ubered, and then I for whatever reason, didn't get around to securing to getting my parking online. I don't know if you guys every event you got to go to now requires, you can't even fucking just go to a parking lot and pay cash or even, God forbid, a credit card anymore. Everything is prepaid these days. So Sunday morning, we're going to the game. I was fumbling around on my phone on the app. I said, you know what? There's got to be a lot that takes credit cards or whatever. We'll just pay when we get there. I didn't have the prepaid parking, so I'm looking on the goddamn map, and this and that of the Atlanta Stadium, Truist Park, and lot 31. This one prepaid, that takes credit cards or this and that. So I'm looking at the map. So when we get there, guess what? Obviously the map or something was outdated because I show up and the guy's like, no, prepaid. I said, dude, I'm showing him my phone. I said, right here, it says lot 31. Is this 31? Yeah. He goes, it says prepaid. He's like, sorry, you got to go down to 43 or something like that. I had to go now like through town and like somewhere out. You can't even park at a fucking state. You can't go to a ball game anymore and just fucking hand a guy a $20 bill. You can't forget about cash. I'm like, this is insane. I can't. The stress I was having of just trying to fucking park my car. I was almost about to park somewhere and just fucking Uber from my car to get to the stadium. That would have been easier.
Cardone, I'll do you one better. We went to the Jaguar game a few years ago, and I had to pre-book the parking because they said you have to pre-book parking. So I pre-booked parking in this lot. Show up, I'm there. A bunch of other Giant fans are there. You get there. And I, did everything online and all that. It went smoothly. But once you get in your spot, there's actually something that pops up and says there's no tailgating in the slot.
Huh.
And everyone's out there grilling and drinking and tailgating. So it's like they're just covering their ass with this kind of stuff because everyone's going to tailgate anyway. So it's like, what the hell's going on?
No tailgating. What is this, Russia?
Yeah, come on.
It's America. Web. What is this, Russia? Is this Russia? No.
Well, I mean, Cardone, you're right, but look, the 4 of us are not technically savvy. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I certainly am not.
I'm not good at it, man.
But I'm better than a 75-year-old male or female. Like, what do you do to that person that doesn't even barely know how to use a credit card, let alone a phone app to prepay for parking? Like,
Nope.
we just
They're aged out. They're aged out of society. You can't.
But even the ticket process too. Like I've struggled just with like Ticketmaster. I got to create an account. At one point I had multiple accounts and this and that. Then I'm trying to download the ticket. It took like 2 emails. This, accept your tickets, do that. Go to Ticketmaster. No, go to the website. Go. Then it's like I'm trying to add it to my Google fucking wallet. And this, I'm like, where the hell are these tickets?
Yeah.
Give me an. I couldn't find these damn things.
And God forbid
buy
if your phone dies. If your phone dies,
yeah, or you lose it. Yeah. Yeah, you go online. You got, like Cardone said, you got to sign up for an account to buy some tickets, or stupid comedian or something, and then you get 68 emails a day for the next 4 years because you did it.
Well, exactly.
I'm still getting emails from Jacksonville. I'm like, I don't care about parking in Jacksonville anymore, but I'm still getting the fucking emails. Duval.
I had, so funny you said that. Look, I said this was going to be a quick pet peeve. Now this is what happens on our pod here, because you go to a road game. Yeah, exactly. I'm getting Atlanta Brave emails now where I'm trying to unsubscribe their shit. I'm like, no. I was there for the road team. I'm not a Brave fan. So Cole and I have been to a number of Devils and Hurricane games up in Raleigh. So I actually had some young girl calling me who was from the marketing team. She was doing something with marketing for Carolina Hurricanes or whatever it is. I don't know what made me pick up the phone one day as she was calling or something. And I had to tell this young girl, she emailed me, called me a number of times. I said, Amanda, wherever you are, I said, by the way, if you notice, I'm a New Jersey Devils fan. I don't like the Hurricanes. I hate the Hurricanes. Stop calling me, lose my number. I said, I actually went to go see the road team, which the Hurricanes beat my ass a couple times. So stop calling me. I'm done. There's my peeve.
They were great.
Season over.
Season's over. Week 1 PI. Season's over.
All right, we got a shitload of questions. Before we get to questions, though, September 2nd, live podcast at the Carolina Beer Temple, Matthews, North Carolina. We had a blast doing it last year. Usually goes for about an hour and a half. Guys, fun venue. They actually moved this year to a bigger space. We're going to be indoors. Awesome. Fantastic. We're going to have a couple questions about the Carolina Beer Temple coming up, but I just wanted to make sure that got on everyone's calendar. So anyone in the Charlotte area, Carolina Beer Temple, Matthews, North Carolina, September 2nd. What is it?
7 to 8:30. However, I will say, get there early. Get there at 6:30. We got a DJ. We've got things going on. We're planning some stuff to kick off probably a little bit earlier before the 7 o'clock. This is a great venue. Air conditioning, which is the best part. Last year was ridiculously hot. Indoors, they've got an upstairs, a downstairs, a back room. They've got, an ice cream place. They've got heavy drinks in the back. They got beer up front, gummy place. They got everything, pinball machines. They got everything. So it's going to be a great venue. Anyone in Charlotte, come by. It's going to be a great time.
Absolutely. And we're not like, as Novak mentioned, we're not like Madonna. We don't say, hey, the concert's at 7:30 and then come out at 10 o'clock. Like, we're going to be there when we say we're going to be there, probably a little early. So come out early, have some fun.
Come out early, definitely.
So with that being said, we got a ton of questions tonight, guys. So Peacock Corner is in full force already in the preseason. Peacock asks, do we still get excited for opening day, or is it waning as we get older? And, my attitude seems to wane as we get older, but I will say opening day is one of those things I still look forward to. Like I said earlier in the opening, I still want to see, Brett Musburger and Phyllis George saying, you're looking live at Fulton County Stadium. I have chills watching opening day. You and I, we all know we get together usually for opening day and watch the games. It's still a special occasion for me.
I'd feel more jacked up if the Giants were better than they are. But yeah, no, I still, it's one of the greatest sporting days of the year. No question. Opening day NFL. And not even the Thursday night. Nah, I mean, it's Sunday. Week 1 Sunday.
Sunday at 1.
Yeah.
Sunday at 1 o'clock.
Yep.
Yes, waking up that Sunday morning is the best, right? You get ready
Yeah.
for the pregame shows. Football is back. It's going to be here for the next 6 months or 5 months, whatever it is. It's exciting. I can't wait. I've gotten to a point where I was ready for football to be back, and now I can't wait for week one.
Yeah. You're tied for first place. It's,
Hope reigns
doesn't
eternal.
get any better.
Yep.
Yeah, as much as the NFL will try, I don't think they could ever ruin opening day at 1 o'clock on Sunday.
They won't. Nope.
They can do, I'm sure there'll be a whole bunch of gay shit going on throughout the day with bands and concerts outside of stadiums and all kinds of that crazy crap. But at 1 o'clock on Sunday, when it's just you and the announcers and the game, it doesn't get any better than that.
Agreed.
I was actually disappointed last year because I was helping my daughter move at the time that Giants were playing the Vikings. And again, that game turned out terribly, but I was watching that game on my phone as I'm helping her move up to her third floor apartment and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. The only thing that can ruin week one is the Giants. That's it. That's it. And they will.
That's it.
And they have, and they do. Season over, right, Cardone?
That's it. with a 3-point lead, mind you, in the first half.
the first half.
Up by 3. Season's over.
So Peacock also asks, do we throw Dart to the Wolves day one or not? Is that our preference? And I'll say this, look, I think it is great that Dart can sit behind Russ. I don't know what Jameis is doing on the roster right now. I think Jameis might get moved, but as far as things go, I've heard great things about Russ, and I've heard great things about Dart's development. I'd love for Russ to play this entire year, the Giants to be very good, and Dart take over next year. That may not happen. I know that, but that's my personal preference.
Yeah, I don't. And I think I'd say this about any quarterback that we drafted, even if we got the number one pick and we took Cam Ward. I don't really want to throw any quarterback to the Wolves. I mean, I do think it can be helpful, and I think a lot of really good quarterbacks who got thrown to the Wolves on day one, thrown to the Wolves on day one, develop from that. I also think there's an equal handful of guys who just could have been great quarterbacks and had their confidence and their career destroyed by doing that. So I wouldn't want to risk that, especially with a guy who, was not a consensus number one pick. Some people think we reached for him. Everyone knows my feelings on that. I think we did pretty well to get him where we got him. But, especially with all that, I would let him sit right there until we have to play him.
Yeah, exactly. Agree. The Giants went out and signed Russell Wilson with all the intention that he's going to be the starter, regardless of what they, how they might have. Really, they haven't beat around the bush at all. I mean, Russell Wilson was signed to come in and be a starter, albeit a pass the baton kind of guy to Dart eventually. But no, I mean, as far as this question, I don't want to see Dart right away. I don't think there's any reason to. There's no reason to throw him out to the Wolves week one. It's not. Just so Wilson's a starter. And listen, this is another year. I don't know what to expect from the Giants this year. I know we'll get into predictions as the preseason goes on and stuff like that. But right now, Wilson, he's a starter, and Dart will get his time will come. That's all.
By the way, I've heard a lot of good reports about Russ's deep ball, the way he's connecting with neighbors. So there's a lot to be excited about. So Peacock also asks, our favorite item at the Carolina Beer Temple, and are the bartenders hot? I will say this. So if you go to the Carolina Beer Temple in terms of just the beer temple itself, your choices are beer. So I go for an IPA, and most of the bartenders are dudes. So you could find food. There's food there in the complex. But as far as the Carolina Beer Temple goes, I'm looking for a good IPA and just want the beer cold. I don't care who serves it to me.
There's a good beer that I like. It's a $5 Holy Water. It's called, which is like
that's the one I was going to go with.
Yep.
Yeah.
I really like that. They've got some great choices there. I mean, I'm not a beer. I mean, I love beer, but I'm not like into the different kinds. And I'm like Mike. I like a certain beer, and then I'm good to go. I'm not, testing a bunch of different things. But the Holy Water is really good.
Yeah, it's a solid one. That's one I
Yep.
was. I knew I was trying to think in my head like water. What's the name of that? Blue water or holy? Yeah, holy
Yep.
water. It's easy drinking lager or pills,
Yep.
whatever it is.
It's a Pilsner. Yep. It's really
yeah, it's
good.
very crushable. It's a real
Yep.
crushable, but it's a crushable kind of beer. And yeah, I don't know. Like I've only seen really like dudes for the most part walking around and serving. So
Yeah, super
we
cool.
need to talk
dudes,
to
by the way.
HR about that and get some hot chicks, serving some stuff there. So yeah.
Okay, HR. Yeah, I'm not, I just embarrass myself in places like that because I go, what's most like a Coors Light when I go
do the
up
same
there?
thing, Mike. Which is
I know you guys know I don't ask for the beer special.
I think Devin Tier says the same thing too. So it's like, he also asks, when does the team turn on Dable or tune him out? And this is a legitimate question. I think if the Giants start 0-2, there's going to be a lot of pressure on them. And it's 2 divisional games. They open up against the Commanders and the Cowboys. And if they start out 0-2, I think Dable's going to start feeling the pressure, and I don't know how he's going to handle that, and I don't know if I want to see that. So I'm hoping they win one of those first 2 games. But I think at 0-2, that's when I don't think the team tunes out Dable, but I think that's when the fuse gets lit.
Yeah, it's not going to take long.
No, you guys have a really good young nucleus, with Neighbors and Lawrence and Carter and Thomas. One of those guys starts popping off, and Dable, that's where it happens, right? Because they're your future. And if they start popping off or getting disgruntled and whatnot, then I think Dable's days are numbered.
Yeah, it's going to be certainly. I agree with Cost there. 0-2, and the building starts shaking. 0-5, 1-4 after 5 weeks, he probably has lost the locker room. And if we have another one of these seasons where we're all but eliminated by October, he's gone. And again, I've said this about a couple coaches. I've said it about a couple quarterbacks. I'm not even sure it's really their fault, but at some point you just got to make a change. You just got to make a change for the sake of making the change.
So we got a question from my friend named Charlie. He says, what set you guys apart from other Giants or Jets podcasts? I think we've addressed this in the past a little bit. I was talking about that Axe question, and that came from the Giants Insider podcast. And for me, when I listen to Giants podcasts, a lot of the Giants podcasts are very content rich in that they're just going over what's going on at camp. They're going over what's going on with the players. We take a broader view of not just the Giants, but the Jets, and we talk about the NFL as a whole. When we're doing our live podcast at the Carolina Beer Temple, we're known as the angry football fans, not the angry Giant fans or the angry Jet fans. And I think that sums it up. We're angry fans, period. And there's a lot of stuff we delve into on that. We don't break down X's and O's that much because you guys all can see that. And one of the things that gets me about a lot of the podcasts that I see in Giants land right now is these guys tout being at the Giants practices, but they're actually not there. So they're just reporting on what's being at the practices. We're not going to do that. We're not going to sit there and go, hey, I heard that Jackson Dart looks good. We're going to sit there and tell you what we think is going to happen, but we're not going to act like we're authorities on what's going to happen because we're not there. We're not at the first person practices. And a lot of these podcasts portray themselves as being there front and center when they're not. And I think what you get with us is you get humor. There's not a lot of humor with these other podcasts.
None.
It's really dry.
They're boring.
It's very dry.
They're
so
boring.
I mean, from my standpoint, you get humor, you get a breakdown of a more broader perspective than just the Giants and Jets. You get a broader perspective around the league. And hell, you get 4 good-looking guys to talk to.
Which podcast is that?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
No, I'll tell you.
I love the fact we have caricatures. That's great.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because we are caricatures of ourselves. I like this is the way Scott Cost pitched this to Cardone and I from day one, and it's always been about being exactly what Scott just said. And this is our 6th year doing this, so we have been doing this before the Manning cast came on. The way Scott Cost pitched this to us was just like 3 dudes, now 4 dudes, sitting at a bar with a game on in the background talking shit. Or 4 dudes in a living room yelling at the TV.
Yep.
Like, not X's and O's, not, this is the way it was always intended to be. And, if, the Manning cast was really popular because it's 2 brothers watching football together, right? And of course, ESPN has done their best to ruin that too with everything they've done. But that was the idea here from the beginning. Was we purposely, we were not going to have a segment on breaking down line play for the week. Now, we totally will say the offensive line sucked this week, and I think people who listen to us and who like us appreciate that because they know that too. That we're just telling them what they saw, and sometimes we have a little bit different take than what seems to be the consensus take. Sometimes we're right with it. Sometimes we don't even have the same take as each other, but it's just 4 dudes watching football, man. That's what it's. Never tried to be anything else.
I always, a couple people that know me personally and then have been listening to this pod. There's a couple things that revolve around my what drives me to as a sports fan. Bringing fervor, right? It's but just bringing in intensity in just how we watch the games, how we talk about the NFL, the league, and how we incorporate other sports, our own experiences, our relationship with each other and other guys that we've been watching this our whole lives. So there's a couple things I like to think of, like, everyone who knows me knows I love Seinfeld. So Seinfeld made his living by making observations. I like the fact that we make observations about the league and other things in professional sports that other podcasts and other shows that I listen to, they just don't touch on any of that stuff or very little. I just don't find myself laughing when I listen to other podcasts on the Giants. Yeah. And I've had other friends and Giant fans, say like, Cardone, you need to listen to this or that. And I've given it a shot. I'm like, I'll check it out. And 15, 20 minutes in, I got to turn it off. I'm like, I can't take this. I'm bored out of my skull. I can't listen to these guys, so it's that part. And lastly, I think I like to think we're pretty knowledgeable guys about our teams and about the sports and about the league. And certainly what always drives me crazy is can you imagine, like, we don't do this for a living. None of us are in talk show. We're not in the media for a living. I always thought, like, my God, if I was, if I could do it all over again, I'd be like a sports journalist, or I'd try to do something maybe and as much as I hate the media, I would love to be part of it because imagine talking about sports for a living. And it always drives me crazy. I tell you, I used to do it. Mike and the Mad Dog, and everyone knows from New York knows who I'm talking about, Mike Francesa. I used to listen to their show religiously, and all the time, Mike Francesa, he was just an arrogant guy. And Mad Dog would ask him about a play or something like that, and he's like, "Oh no, I didn't see that." Like, more often than not, he'd be like, "Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't catch that." What are you talking about, dude? You do this for a living. The 4 of us can comment on almost everything, and we do everything but sports in our lives as far as how we pay the bills. That drives me crazy. So you listen to the 3 AU Giant fans and a Jeff fan, you're gonna hear 4 guys that know football and know what we're talking about, and funny as shit at the same time.
Yeah, couldn't say it any better. And we don't take ourselves too seriously. I listen to a bunch of Jet podcasts, and these guys are like, John, what did you think about the 3rd down call? Can you imagine? Like, that was our banter back and forth. Well, 3rd down, like, second drive, 3rd quarter, the Jets ran a sweep. What did you think about that? I thought that was a poor play call. You? And then get all serious about it. Fuck off. No one wants to listen to that. No.
Yeah. And in that vein, we have a bunch of questions that are asking us to be sort of goofy. So our friend Chris Coons asks, does he's a Cowboy fan, so does Jerry Jones have dementia? Does he have aphantasia, which I don't even know what that is, but he's thrown that out there, or does he have stupidity? And I'll say this: I think Jerry Jones has hubris.
Hubris?
Hubris. He's got a lot of pride, and he will put that pride forward all the time. I don't. Well, I if someone could tell me what aphantasia is,
I don't even know what that is either.
It's the inability to voluntarily form mental images in one's mind.
Crap, does that mean I have this?
I love the fact that Coons told us this. It's like, what is aphantasia?
Often described as lacking a mind's eye.
Oh.
It is not a disorder, but a neurological trait estimated to affect 1 to 4% of the population.
How many podcasts have a science guy like Mike telling you this?
Science guy.
Like there are so how many like there's so, like is there just an infinite number of conditions and stuff that can happen to a human being?
Seriously,
I never heard of this thing. Now I may now I got to worry. Do I have this, or is it so like how many more things can you possibly get? Is there a pill for this?
I don't know. But my wife better not find out that this is a thing because I'm going to be checked for this. No problem.
So you know, look, I think his question's probably around the whole Micah Parsons thing that we talked about earlier. Look, I think Micah Parsons should be signed. I don't think it's stupidity. I think Jarrett is one of those guys who he believes that he is the Cowboys. It's hubris to me. It's pride. Whether he signs people or not, completely up to him.
I mean, I'm not a Cowboy fan. I'm not a Cowboy fan, but if I were the fan of that team, I would just cringe every time he opens his mouth because what is he talking about a lot of these times? Just shut up. You're the owner. Don't talk to the media. Let your general manager and coach do that. Just go away.
He can't help himself.
He can't. You're right. He can't.
There's no way he can help himself.
Nope.
So,
you're right.
I say the same thing all the time. I've stopped saying it a long time ago with this clown. Can't help himself.
Yep.
Nope.
So I mean, he got on board with a couple of teams that literally could not lose. Could not lose. They were so good. They won with that. Who was the coach from Oklahoma they won with?
Barry Switzer.
Barry Switzer.
How about them Cowboys?
That's how good that team was.
Yeah.
Coached by Barry Switzer. And he patted himself on the back for those seasons, and he had nothing to do with them. He was along for the ride, and he wasn't good at this, and then all of a sudden this sucked for 30 years, right? He's never been good at it, period. And hubris is a great answer. He was the first owner that sort of joined up and started playing fantasy football in real life with the league. Everything about him is wrong, Coons. Everything. He's bad news.
So Coons' second question is a great one, and you might like my answer. I'm going to go last because I have to actually run for 30 seconds, so I'm going to let you guys take up that time. But it's the weirdest place you fell asleep drunk. So I'll start with
because you're leaving, so we can talk about you when you're gone. Because
you
should be owning this segment.
I'm going to start with Cardone.
Okay. This is, it probably doesn't qualify as weirdest because anyone from New Jersey certainly knows of the diner population in New Jersey, right? So don't forget, I went to school at Ramapo College of New Jersey, and one of the greatest things about living in that or going to school in that area and living in that state are all night diners. So when you're banged up and you're coming back from the bar or a party, whatever it is, my buddies and I, and we would always end up at a diner on Route 17 this is like Mahwah, New Jersey. So there was a few of them up there, but the one place we always went to is State Line Diner. It was called State Line because it's right near the border of New York and New Jersey up there on 17 and Mahwah, if you know where I'm talking about. Yep. And there was one night, barely, don't even know how we got there, where we were coming from, doesn't matter. But I obviously passed out in the booth while hanging out with my buddies, 3 a.m, God knows what time, fell asleep. And these bastards, they left me there. Obviously playing a prank on me. My buddy, my roommates and a couple other guys, fraternity brothers or whatnot. I woke up, like, I don't even know what, it was one of those, can you imagine, right? I woke up, I'm there by myself. There's other people there, but all my friends are gone. I don't even know where I am, how I got there. I have to stumble to use a again, this is 1990, right? No, obviously no. I had to use. I don't even know if I had.
Payphone.
I must have used a payphone. Yeah. So I stumbled outside somewhere. There was a gas station next to the diner. I think I stumbled over to the gas station. Finally got a hold of one of my buddies to come pick me up because I was almost ready to walk back to campus, which was probably about 2 miles. But at 3:30 in the morning, not a wise thing to do, crossing over a major highway and all that stuff. So State Line Diner, just passed out. Don't even remember any of it. Just waking up, being there by myself, and so that was a good prank by my buddies. Pulling on that one, just leaving me there. So still comes up to this day.
For me, actually, if you're watching us on YouTube, you're going to see the view that I had where I passed out, which was at a Jets game. I was up in the second to last row. This is why. So during the Kotite years, right? Remember those years in the mid 90s? Yeah. I had season tickets, and we would go to the game at like 6:30 in the morning to beat the $10 parking, which was why we did that. I don't know. But you know what? We started, of course, at like 7 o'clock. So by the time the crappy Jets started at 1 o'clock, I mean, I fell asleep at the middle of the game and everyone around me left, just like you, Cardone. I was sitting up there by myself, second to last row of the stadium on the 50-yard line, just like you're seeing on the screen. I was out cold for like a quarter and a half. So, so that's mine.
Nice. Oh God, I don't even know how to answer this. I've fallen asleep everywhere at one point or another. I know I did the stereotypical fall asleep on a park bench thing, and I was out of town at the time. And actually, when Peacock listens to this, he'll probably be laughing hard because he'll know what that was. And I got separated from the group, out of town, fell asleep on a park bench, kind of woke up like Cardone, didn't even know what city I was in when I woke up. Like, how did I get here? But I was in a wedding and I fell asleep at a bar in a tux one time and woke up so confused because I was in a dive bar with a tux on. Like, I was like, how did I end up here? It's like The Hangover, you know? But yeah, I've fallen asleep about anywhere you can imagine. I thought there was one other good one there, but it's not coming. So I'll let Scott go.
Yeah, no, I had to sit there and narrow this one down. So there's been a lot of good places, but one in particular, and my fraternity brothers will love this if they're listening here, and I know a couple of them do. We were in Cancun for spring break, and for some reason I had drank and fallen asleep at a poolside, and I woke up the next day, and it was probably already midday because I had strips going around my belly and up my side of sunburn. So what I had done, I had taken one of those Chase lounges and apparently pulled it over on top of me and was
like a blanket
asleep underneath that. And the strips of where the plastic were white and everything else was red for me being out in the sun. So
That's awesome.
I could probably we could probably do a whole podcast on where Scott has passed out drunk. We're not going to do that, but
you actually did it on a podcast. So I mean,
yeah, that's right. That was the answer I was thinking of on a podcast. I think Coons asked the question because you also did it a couple weeks ago at Carolina Beer Temple at 6:15 in the afternoon.
With witnesses.
That's exactly why I asked, because you know, I know him, and he leaned over to me and goes, "It's 6:15 and he's out cold."
And then we went and had burgers later, and I still passed out. So my friend Mike Harrison, he asks a bunch of questions here. He's got a bunch of football ones first and then non-football ones, but he's asked if we're surprised about the praise for Dart so far. So this is more for the Giants. I'm not. I mean, look, he's a rookie quarterback drafted in the first round. Of course, there's going to be excitement for the guy. He's looked good. He's looked bad. What you'd expect from a rookie. So yeah, I'm not surprised at all about that.
No, when you're 3-14 last year, and God knows what our record is the last 5 years, like we'll take anything. We'll take anything to be excited about. So yeah. He brings some hope. The guy brings hope for the future. So yeah, no, definitely reason to be excited about. So not surprised at all.
Yeah, I'll just be honest on this one. I didn't know there was a bunch of praise for him. When I unplug on the off season, I seriously unplug. I don't pay much attention to what's going on. So if there's a bunch of praise for him going on, I've seen a couple of things, obviously, and all that. But if he's getting a bunch of big praise in camp and whatever, that's great news to me. I just hadn't heard it.
And to be fair, Mike, he's gotten his share of criticism too. His first couple of practices weren't great, but it is
Yeah,
what
sure.
people will make of it. Mike also asks. He said, "This is more for Novak, but the first reports of Fields being injured were pretty bad. So when you found out it wasn't that bad, were you relieved or?"
I kind of want him to play just because I want to be right about him being bad in a way, if that makes any sense.
Makes all the sense.
So, and I think it's great content for the pod. They're going to suck anyway. So yeah, I kind of wanted him to play.
He also asks, and for me, this is going to be something later on in camp because I really haven't made my mind up about the roster yet, but he's asking if there's any undrafted free agents that we are looking at that should make the team. And for me, I want to see these guys in preseason, or I want to hear more about them in camp. I don't have any that stand out that I'm like, hey, these guys need to make the team. A lot of times, if an undrafted free agent's making the team, it's not great.
Yeah. I don't. Like I said, I don't know who the undrafted free agents are.
No,
so
I know.
I couldn't.
I was just talking about our football knowledge, and I'm like, shit, I don't know who's out there.
Exposed.
Yeah.
So, from a non-football standpoint, he's asking if we use ChatGPT or any other AI bots. And honestly, Mike, I'll tell you right now, I don't use any AI bots. Mike talked about fireflies or something like that in a podcast last year, and I had no idea what that was. And since then, I've seen Copilot show up and all these things on Teams, and for me, I don't want something to write something for me. I don't want someone to write an email for me. I want to write the email myself. I'm not big on ChatGPT. I'm not big on AI.
I'm just going to. Oh, go ahead, Novak.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know if this is like Costanza with worlds colliding, because I hope it doesn't, but I don't know how I could live without it, candidly, from my professional life. So I use it all the time.
Yeah. What I was going to say is ChatGPT is basically my personality right now. So as far as anyone, I mean, I've come 180 on this. I live by fireflies. I think I was talking about fireflies last year in a pet peeve.
You did.
Yeah, you
did.
No, I can't. I have to have it now. I have to have it.
Same.
I have to. And every email I write, like, I don't just say, write me an email for this scenario. I write something and then I go throw it through ChatGPT. It cleans it up for me a little bit. I have a problem at work with being a little verbose. And I like to say, make this succinct for me. Help me get to the point here. Yeah. So... yeah, I love it.
No, I actually don't use it enough. I'm encouraged at work to use Copilot, and then I was introduced to a one that I didn't know about it. Perplexity. You heard about this one?
No.
It's Perplexity. Just go. It's a same thing. AI. It's like a Chat GPT, and I use it now regularly to in my almost day to day.
So I'm the guy. I'm the only guy. I'm the guy.
Old school.
What are your best non-sports podcasts that you listen to?
I don't listen to any
other
podcasts, sports or non.
I'll say this: when I'm walking, a lot of times I'll listen to Joe Rogan's podcast, but the problem is they're 3 hours long. So I listen to the first half hour or 45 minutes that I'm walking, and then after that, I go to the next day. So if there's anything exciting that happens in the back half of it, I don't listen to it.
I mean, I listen to WFAN all day long. So I listen to the Rico Bronya podcast, which is an Evan Roberts podcast, but it's about the New York Mets. But other than that, I don't. I listen to now Brandon Tierney's Unkillable about the Jets. I listen to that a lot. So other than those two, that's it.
I may embarrass myself here, but I've actually tuned into the Office Ladies.
Oh, that is. I've heard that too. That's good.
Right?
Is that Pam?
It's Pam and Angela, right?
Yeah,
So it's
Angela.
Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsey, who I think are both cute. So
Yeah.
I loved. I was a fan of the show. So I've tuned into their podcast every now and then. But I don't know. It's not that exciting. I don't know. You're looking for some kind of scandal or dirt or something about, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes on the show. And I can't remember the last time I listened to, but to you guys, I don't really listen to podcasts, to be honest. I don't
really either.
Yeah.
I've had a number of people say, "Hey, I'd love to listen to your podcast. I don't listen to podcasts." I'm like, all right, well, you give us a try.
Yeah, go to YouTube.
Yeah, I do feel like it's a flaw. There's several that I've heard of and I've heard clips from that had me laughing pretty good. And I'm like, I should listen to that. I just never get around to it. The one with Jason Bateman and Will Arnett and
yeah, I've heard about that.
I forget what that's called, but from everything I've seen from that, it seems hysterical. But I'm down with The Office Ladies. I'm going to check that out.
Yeah.
So Mike also asks, what are go-to sandwiches in the summer? Now, I don't know if summer actually captures it right, because in the heat of what we've seen in the Carolinas, at least in the last couple of weeks, I really don't want a sandwich. But if I had to have my favorite sandwich is always a Reuben. I could do a Reuben at any time of the year.
Now we're talking my language, sandwiches. I mean, this is now I'm kind of with you though, Scott. I do not have seasonal sandwich favorites. Like I'm not
seasonal.
I don't. It's fall. I need a pumpkin spice chicken salad. No, but I like any of the salad sandwiches, egg salad, chicken salad. I love those. And a lot of people will say, well, it's kind of those are very. You have to find one you really like. You can't just have a random one. But I like most of those that I try. But I don't want to copy Scott, but the first time I go to any place that has one, I will always order the Reuben first. Because I figured my logic there is if you can't get the Reuben right, I don't want anything else on your menu. A Reuben's, the enigma of the Reuben for me, I don't like any of the ingredients by themselves.
I love stuff like that. It's hilarious.
That's awesome.
You put them all together.
Yeah.
Magic.
Heaven.
But sauerkraut, corned beef. I don't like any of it on its own.
Sorry.
It's a magical sandwich.
I guess so.
Club sandwich for me. Just if we're going summer, give me Jersey Mike's club sub. Love it. Number 8 on the menu, unless it's moved around. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's number 8.
The clubs. Have you had the Club Supreme?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Club sandwich is great. So now if we're going to go seasonal, like in the winter, oh my God, like a sausage, pepper, and onion. I love it. One of those.
Yeah, or a cheesesteak.
Yeah. Yep. One of those. Yep. But club sandwich.
Italian sandwich. Come on. I'm from New Jersey. Yeah.
Mandatory eating.
Pretty much.
All right. So Mike asks one last question, and that's Yankees and Mets outlook for this year.
Garbage. Both of them.
Look, both of them have been on losing streaks lately, which is his point. Yankees finally got a win tonight, but the Yankees have been struggling without Judge, and their bullpen is shit. And they've tried to make some acquisitions, and their bullpen is still as shit. I think the Yankees get in as a wild card. I think that's it. But there's a distinct possibility they miss the playoffs, which would be maybe be the best thing, because maybe Boone and Cashman both get fired.
They both need to be fired. Both of them. There's no heart. Anyone who's watched the Yankees in the last really month plus, this is a team that I've never seen a major league team, especially the Yankees, make these many defensive mistakes, boneheaded base running errors. I mean, there's something really, really missing and wrong with the New York Yankees right now, and People say like, well, they're still 7 games over 500. Yeah, they were a wild card. No, I think they missed a wild card. I think they keep dropping. There's too many other teams that are just playing better than them right now. They're just not a good baseball team right now. Bullpen is horrific. They're a home run or nothing club, which they've been forever, it seems like. So somehow they still have a lot of offensive numbers, like on top of the league. They stink. The Yankees stink. They're not making the playoffs, and some changes need to be made. Boone and Cashman both need to be, I think, sliced and beheaded for after this season.
I don't think that happens unless they miss the playoffs. But if they miss the playoffs, yes.
I think they do. I do. I think they're in a free fall. Yeah, they might have. I mean, they'll win games here and there, of course, but they're free. I don't think they're going to recover enough to sleep into the playoffs.
Your Mets, man.
Yeah.
Novak.
They're too streaky. They won 8 straight, and then they've lost 7 of their last 8. Just got swept by the Guardians. The Mets. They'll get into. I believe
who are the
Mets
Guardians again?
Who knows? The Mets are going to get into the playoffs, at least I would think, as a wild card, and it comes down to, are they going to be hot at that time, like last year? And if they're not, they could go out in 3 games, or they could get hot and they could win the World Series. But I just don't. I don't right now. If you ask me, they just got swept, so I don't think they're going anywhere. But ask me in a week, I might feel differently.
They got
and the Yankees are constructed terribly, just from an outsider's perspective. That team makes no sense to me.
Yeah, when they signed Devin Williams, and I'll tell you this about a closer. Mariano he didn't blow you away with heat, but he had heat that he could blow you away with. Devin Williams going into a season with him as your closer, when he throws off, like he basically throws off speed stuff. I don't know how you survive on that with baseball.
Pete Alonso ruined Devin Williams.
Yeah,
it's not been the same since.
You're probably right.
The Mets got no hit into the 9th inning today.
Yeah, it was pathetic. Yeah. I watched that game. It was garbage. They're garbage right now.
Yep.
So, guys, I want to say, season 6, we've had a great ride. We're loving this. We got the live podcast going September 2nd at the Carolina Beer Temple, Matthews, North Carolina. We're bringing it. We love it. We love the fact we've had the support, and we will continue to go on. So, guys, any last parting words before we close here?
No, just jacked up for another year.
Yep,
looking forward to it, guys. And
for now,
yeah.
Week 11, Cardone and I will be like in an insane asylum.
That's part, yeah. I think I was talking about the pod.
Wait till 2 weeks from now when we ask for season predictions for good, and we lock you in.
Oh, God.
We'll be ready.
Yeah. All right, fellas. We'll see. We'll actually be back next week to bring back the. We'll talk about the recaps of the preseason games and talk about the next preseason games.
Get into it.
See ya.
See ya.